Bismillahi, alhamdulillahi, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi, rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri, wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum, all of you. Now, the Google quiz. Yes, that's why I put this first page Google quiz at the end of the lesson, last lesson. I hope you have done it. Answer yourselves. Okay, now we are coming back after a Thanksgiving break. So let's do a little bit of like revision of what we did covered last time. So we've done two lessons, 2A, 1A and 2A, and this is 3A. Now, quickly, first, let me ask quickly. We learn grammar in this course using, give me the answer.
CPI and spoken Arabic, you already gave that.
Perfect. The next question, the meaning of alhamdu.
All thanks.
And there's one more.
All praise.
All praise.
Very good. All thanks and praise. Yes. So remember, alhamdu does not mean only thank you or praise. It means both. Both are there. We did it in detail in the last lesson. A regime.
The outcast. Oh.
Good. Perfect. Good. And wahu Allahu.
And he is Allah.
Yes. Wa is and. Huwa. Remember? Huwa. Huwa.
He.
Whom. You remember in that class, grammar class? Huwa, whom. So we learned huwa. Huwa is and. Huwa is him. And Allah is Allah. So, and he is Allah. So this is the answer. See, and he. So, and he, Allah. And he, Allah. Okay. now up till now, this is what we have completed. This is in the part A and part B. You know, we did part part 1, A and B, part 2, A, B. So A were just the words from Salah we have just started, and these were the words from grammar. So let's go through these words quickly. We have done A'udhu means I seek refuge, Billahi in Allah, Min from, Shaitan, Shayateen, that's Shaitan, Ar-Rajim is the outcast. Then in part 1B, we did Huwa, Hum, Anta, Ana, Antum, Nahnu, Man. Man means who. We did all this. He, they, you, I, you all, we, and who. Then in part 2A, again, we did Ism or Asma, which meant the names. Ar-Rahman is the most gracious. Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. Kareem, good-mannered. Alhamdu, all the praises and thanks to is Lillahi, to Allah. Rabbi is our Rabb, our creator. Al-Alamin, of the worlds. And Mu'min is a believer. Mushrik is a polytheist. Kafir, Kafirun is a disbeliever. And Saleh is a pious person. So we have already done all these words. I hope you all have your vocabulary sheets. And Alhamdulillah, in 2 lessons, part A and B, we have done so many words. We also did a few habits. I just was going through quickly some good habits with you all. So the first habit, just like let's go through it briefly. The first habit was safety. First, buckle up. So safety, your own, take care of yourself. So what was the safety? Okay, what was that safety?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Yes, a'udhu billahi. So safety first. So take care of yourself. Be safe. So to be safe, always begin everything. You say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That means you're throwing away the shaitan. Bismillah. You always begin everything. Anything you do, begin in the name of Allah. The third one was be positive. Don't give up on Allah. Even if something bad happens, you always be positive about it, that there's something good coming out of it. The fourth one was seek knowledge. Seek Allah's knowledge. Allah's knowledge. Seek the knowledge of the universe. Do math, science, history, whatever kind of knowledge you can do. Keep learning more and more in your life. Fifth one is to be thankful to Allah always. And the sixth one, which we learned last time, was to show mercy to others. How you want others to be merciful to you. So be merciful to others also. So now, today's lesson. So this was what we did last time. This was a brief revision. Let's start today's lesson. So in today's lesson, we are going to do Surah Al-Fatiha, verses 4 and 5. Only 2 verses. And in the next grammar class, we will do who, whom, ka, ki, kum, and na. I'll explain it to you in the next class. You'll understand what it all means. And then, of course, I'll be giving you the learning tip after the grammar class. And today, so here, by the end of the third class, that means today's class and the next grammar class, you'll finish the 3A, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and 3A, 3B. You will be learning, you will have learned so many words. And look at this, your battery. This is the batteries being charged. We were at 0, remember? And I promised you all will do 50% at the end of the first course only. So this is course 1 going on. And look where your battery is getting charged. It's going high and high. And you will see as we move progress. So Maliki Yawm. Maliki means master, your master, and Yawm is day, and Deen is judgment. Now, before we begin with the detailed meaning of each word, I just because Surah Fatiha is such a important surah, I'm just doing a little bit of tafsir also, just to give you all an idea about it, as I did last time. So let me do a little bit of tafsir. Maliki Yawmiddin. On the day of judgment, we all answer. We will all be answering like precisely to Allah. Whatever we have done, we are going to give proper answers to Allah, and precise audits and accounts will take place on that day, because Allah is the owner of that day, and Allah owes you a compensation. Allah owes you a payment, payment of a punishment or a reward of whatever you did in this world. And you owe Allah your deeds, and He owes you compensation. Okay, so the word Malik means here that He is the owner of that day, and He's the king of that day, Malik. And Allah does both. So Allah is the owner and the king. Now Malik, when I say it's the owner and king, I'll give you a little small example with which you will understand what I mean when I say that Allah is the owner and the king. So example, if you have a small, if I have this mobile of mine, this is my mobile, and I will say, will you say that if this is my mobile, will I say I'm the king of this mobile? No. I will say, what will I say? I'm the owner of this mobile phone, correct? I'm the owner. So the king owns the country and has control of his people. But is the king the owner of my mobile, of my phone? No. So he's through like this, I'm the owner, but the king owns the whole country. So the king, actually, what is the saying king? He's not looking at what small things I own. The king sees the entire territory. The owner, he's the owner. So he's the owner, he will see the small things. But the king, he will see the big things. So the owner, that me, I will be micro. So micro is small and macro is looking at a big picture. So here, if Allah owns the day and the whole day, Maliki Yawm. Yawm means deen. Yawm means the day. If Allah owns the day, means He owns everything that happens in that whole day, the micro and macro. Got it? So Allah owns, literally I can say Allah owns the time. He owns time. He has captured everything that happened on the day of judgment. Allah has captured. Allah owns this time. Every single thing which we are doing is being captured by Allah. Now, there are only 2 kinds of people on that great day of judgment. Those who will receive His mercy and those who will receive His justice. Justice means could be a reward or a punishment. And we have plenty of mistakes on our record. May Allah have mercy on us. So the first 3 verses which we did are bits of knowledge. There are enough reasons to make ourselves slave of Allah. Those are like last time I said it, we are the slaves of Allah. So those are the reasons which makes us the slave of Allah. Okay, so now So now let's come to the word to word meaning, and let's try to remember the words. So I take every word and I just try to elaborate on those words. I talk more about those words so that the meaning of it sits into your brain and you know what it means. So Maliki, Malik. By the way, you should know Malik is master and Malak is angel. So don't get mixed up between the two meanings. So Malik is the master. Yom, the next one is Yom. Yom al-Din, Yom al-Eid. We say it's the day of Eid, Yom al-Eid, day of Eid. Or Yom al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment, Yom al-Qiyamah, the day of the hereafter. So Yom means day. And Ayyam is the plural. Yom, day, Ayyam, plural, days. Day, days. Yom, Ayyam. Yom, Ayyam. So Malik, master, Yom, day. Ayyam, days. Now, next one is Ad-Din. Ad-Din, Deen is the day of the judgment, the day where your good and bad will be judged. You will be with the book of your book will be given there, which will be open there, and all your deeds, the good and bad you did, will be shown on this day. And also Deen is also, we say, it's a system, it's a way of life. Like we say, like you must have heard in this Deen and Dunya we do the Deen. That means the Deen is the way of life. It is Islam itself, and how Islam teaches us how to live and do so many things correctly in life. So on the day of judgment, Deen, Allah will have sole authority, and he will be the only powerful person there, and nobody will be able to say anything against each other. We will not be able to judge about the other, and we will all be standing there alone by ourselves, and no one will be able to do intercede or talk against you except without Allah's permission. No one can do anything. And the day of the judgment is going to be a terrible day. Why? Because on that day, every person will be worried for himself, the father, mother, brother, sister, like how right now for your own children, you will do anything for your children, correct? But on that day, believe you me, nobody is worried about anybody else. It's all nafsi, nafsi, yourself, yourself. You'll be only worried about your own self. You'll not even recognize your own husband, wife, brother, sister, even child. It's also it's also known that even a woman who is pregnant, she will deliver the baby also, and she'll not even feel that baby, the delivery. She will not even, a child will beg in front of her, give me some of your deeds. Mama, give me some of your deeds. I'm getting short. You will not even recognize your own child on that day. So it's going to be like this. That's why it's a very fearful day. So while reading this ayah, Maliki Yawm, we should anticipate Allah's mercy that He will reward us for our good deeds. So the good things, we are doing very good things in our life. So Allah is there to reward us. So we should be like happy that yes, we are doing good things and Allah is going to reward us. And in the same way, we should also be careful that we don't do anything wrong for which we'll be receiving a punishment on that day. And He made us Muslims without asking us. See, Allah has blessed us. He has made us Muslims. So it is our duty to understand the Quran, to know what the Quran means, and this way we are going to receive Allah's mercy. Now coming to, we did 6 habits. Now let's do the habit number 7. Habit number 7 is plan for every day, keeping Akhirah in front of you. Every day, plan for yourself, keep Akhirah in front of you. Always remember the death, the grave, and the day of judgment is coming. And what you should be doing is, you can pray, do your tilawah, you read Quran, or do your azkar. Make sure you don't forget your salah, and Allah has given you hands, eyes, ears, legs, and feet, and everything to function your life with. So make sure you use all these parts of your body correctly. Don't do anything wrong with these parts of your body. Don't hurt anyone with your tongue, or don't listen to anything bad. Don't see anything bad. Don't use your hands to do bad things. Don't walk towards bad places. So your life, your youth, your money, and the knowledge, use it in the right way. So yeah, like after every sentence we have this allimu uktubu. So allimu means teach, uktubu is write. So the best way to learn is to teach. So I'm a teacher, I'm teaching you. So actually I'm a student of Allah, and I'm learning Quran with you all by just teaching you. So may Allah, you also, whatever you learn from here, go and pass it ahead. Okay, now my students, translate Yom. Yom, what's the meaning of Yom?
Day.
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 Good. Next, the two meanings of Deen. What are the two meanings of Deen?
Of judgment and system of life.
Perfect. Good. That's what is the habit of a successful person in the light of Maliki Yawmiddin?
To pray Salah on time, to avoid wrongdoings, keep akhirah in mind while planning for everything, to seek Allah's help.
Yeah, so one answer is most important is to keep akhirah in mind while planning for. So this was the habit. When I gave the seventh habit, it was that whenever you do anything, you keep akhirah in my mind. So when you keep akhirah in your mind, you are going to pray, you are going to avoid any wrongdoings, you are going to ask for Allah's help, you are going to help others, you're going to be merciful, you will do charity, you'll always do good things. So always keep akhirah in mind. So whenever you think, always keep akhirah in mind. Okay. All right. Now, Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in. Iyyaka is you alone. Na'budu is we worship. And Iyyaka again, wa Iyyaka and you alone. What means and? Wa Iyyaka and you alone. Nasta'in, we ask for help. Now, before we get into the word-to-word meaning, let me again, a little bit explain a little bit about the meaning of Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in. It means that it is you we give ourselves to completely, and you we ask for help. So we are giving ourselves, like na'budu. That means we are your slaves. We are submitting ourselves to you completely, and it is to you only we are asking for help. So this ayah, Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in, is better explains the master and slave relationship, which I had mentioned earlier. This is a good example to explain the relationship of a master and slave. So in this ayah, we are talking to Allah, telling him, we worship you, and we give ourselves into slavery of Allah. Like how in America, we have the Declaration of Independence proclaiming that United States is an independent country from Great Britain, correct? That's a declaration of independence. So this Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in is our declaration of dependence. Dependence to who? Dependence to Allah. When we say Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in, that means we are dependent on Allah, and that is the only time we are truly free. When do we become truly free? When we are totally dependent on Allah. And what do we do when we are dependent on Allah? We will never do anything wrong. So if we don't do anything wrong, we are not going to face any consequences. So you see our dependence, the declaration of dependence on Allah, what it makes us do. It makes us totally dependent on Allah, and we just follow the laws of Allah, and you will not go wrong. Mostly you will see things happen bad in people's life is because that concept of God is missing. That concept of God is missing. So now, because our faith is strong, and anything which goes against our will not disappoint us. Why? We will not be complaining about life. Why? Because now we depend on.
Walaikum salam.
Please mute yourselves, everybody. Just please mute. Yeah, it's a little disturbing when I hear voice in the background. All right. So because now our faith is strong, and anything which goes against our will, we are now we are not disappointed. Correct? Because now our faith is so strong, and we have depended on Allah, and we know we're not doing anything wrong. So everything good is going to happen to us. And even if something bad happens to us, we are not worried because we know this is the will of Allah. So the meaning is that you alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. So this is the meaning of Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. So when you ask someone for help, you have to tell him what you want, correct? You have to tell. But Allah already knows what you want. You have a long list of needs. So in this surah, you just ask for help. And without even giving a list to Allah, Allah already knows what you want. So it is a quick way of asking for help without giving any detailed explanations because we are desperate for help. For example, let me give it. If you're drowning in the water, are you going to say, oh, please help me. I was passing here and I went in this boat and I slipped and I fell down and I cannot swim and I think I'm going to die. Please, someone help me. Nobody gives such a big explanation. What does that person say? He's so desperate, he'll just scream, help, help, help. Just the word one, help. Whoever is out there, they will come for help because they know that this is an emergency. And nobody asked him why you need help, and he did not tell anybody. But someone will come and help because it's an emergency. So Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in is that help. And another meaning is that we give ourselves to Allah in totality. When we ask this, we're giving ourselves to Allah. So we can only truly be free when we enslave ourselves to our Creator. We are required to abide by Allah's commands because He's our master. This means doing whatever He commanded, which is keeping away from whatever He prohibited. See? So lying, backbiting, cheating, stealing, we have declared to be, the Allah's slave. So we avoid all these things. And so we ask Him for help. And first thing we need to ask Allah is to make us that slave so we are able to ask help to our master. So, and the meaning of the second part, wa iyyaka nasta'in, it means help in matters we are currently struggling with. You are telling Allah, oh Allah, I'm already trying to do this, but struggling. So please help me because I cannot do it by myself. So don't ask Allah straight. First this means that you have to be trying to do something, and then you ask. So you don't just sit and Allah give me this. No, you try to work towards it, and Allah helps you to achieve that goal. So, and here the first part of this verse is related to worship, which means our primary task is to be His slave and submit to Him. And the second part relates to seeking help. So when we worship, it is for sake of Allah, and we ask for help, it is for our sake. So what Allah wants should be done first, and what we want will come later. So it is mentioned in this order. Wa iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. It is mentioned in this order because worship and submission is for Allah, whereas seeking aid or help is for us. So this was like I gave you a little bit of explanation for this ayah. It went a little long, but I think you got a little bit depth about it. So now you'll know. So Iyyaka means you and you alone. Iyyaka. Okay? And ibada, means ibada means worship. Ibada, worship. Na'budu, we worship. Ibadat is worship. Na'budu, we worship. Just want to remind something here. Nahnu, remember? Nahnu, nahna, nahnu. So, na give nahnu means we. Nahnu we. So na'budu, that means we worship. So the N over here, the noon over here in na'budu, that shows you that we worship. So na'budu and wa iyyaka, wa is and, iyyaka again, you alone. So iyyaka, you, wa iyyaka, and you. That's the difference. Na'budu nasta'in. Now look here. Na'budu nasta'in. So here the noon is giving an indication about nahnu. So na'budu. Nahnu nasta'inu. So as soon as the noon comes, it gives we. Nahnu. Okay? Antum nahnu. Remember? Antum nahnu. So you'll get it as we go ahead. You are going to get, like, this is something small. I said this. Now you will know the minute noon comes, it means it's referring to ourselves. The next, okay. Allah has created us so that we worship him. He said, I have not created the jinns and humans except that they worship Allah. This is in Surah Al-Zariyat. And ibadah. Now let's talk about ibadah. Ibadah, what is ibadah? Ibadah actually means not only to worship, but to obey Allah's order. That's ibadah, and to refrain from disobeying him. And how will you do that? By offering salah, by fasting, by giving charity, and we go for Hajj. We always try to go for Hajj at least once in a year, and we seek knowledge, and we have halal earnings, and all these things which we try to do in the right way. That is the ibadah. And among these, salah is the most important part of the ibadah. And whoever leaves salah intentionally, it is like, you're disbelieving in Islam. So salah is like you have really, cut out one of the pillars of Islam if you leave salah. Salah is like extreme. Never leave your salah, no matter what. And Allah has given us so many ways of, to make it easy for us. Like when we were traveling, we can always, cut it short to 2. If you overslept or something, you can always cover it up when you wake up. So there are many ways of, so many leniencies are given. So take it, but don't leave it. And then we ask Allah, oh Allah, help me to worship you in the best way, the way that pleases you. Always ask Allah, let me. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Now that brings us to habit number 8. Habit number 8 is we should have a niyyah, intention. Every time when we are doing, if you make an intention that I am going to do an ibadah, that means all these good tasks I am doing, then the real peace of mind and the true success can be achieved only with ibadah. You see, all the people, you must have seen millionaires, they will earn so much money. At the end of it, they've got it all. They've earned all the money, but the contentment and happiness should be there. Sometimes you will see a poor person happy. He's happy with what he has. So you have to reach, you're doing things in the worldly life, but the internal peace is very, very important. And wa iyyaka nasta'in. So without nasta'in, and we, you alone, ya Allah, wa iyyaka, and you alone, nasta'in, we ask for help. So without the help of Allah, we cannot even quench our thirst. And so you have seen, if you're a doctor, or you must have seen some patients, sometimes some people, they cannot even, sip of water. You have to be given through pipes into you, so they cannot even swallow water. So this is also blessing of Allah. So if Allah cannot, if we cannot even, like, swallowing water also is a mercy from Allah given to us, that we can drink with Allah, drink the water. So how can we worship without Allah's help? How can we worship him without his help? So therefore, You should always, whenever you recite, you're reciting this ayah so many times, recite it with the feeling that, oh Allah, I beg you for your help in this salah. I'm praying, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Allah, I'm begging. It's like it's a whole dua by itself. And okay, now there's another point here. People, they hate you if you ask them for help. For example, if anyone comes to you and like, forget about money, asking for money, you don't want anyone to ask you, you'll help that person once, twice, and then say, what's this? Repeatedly he's coming. Or even if my neighbor also, neighbor will come and she says, oh, do you have a grinder? I don't have mine. You'll give it to her today. Then again next day she'll come. Do you have a grinder? She'll keep asking. In the end, you'll say, well, why don't you buy your own grinder? Why do you come and asking me every day like this? See? So we do get angry when somebody repeatedly comes and asks us for favors again and again. But Allah, it's not like this in case of Allah. Allah is waiting for us to repeatedly come to Him and ask for favors. Because He loves us, He accepts our dua. So you have to repeatedly, and in fact, when you do dua, Allah is happy. Allah is always waiting out there and looking for the hands which are raised. Allah asks and Allah is there to give you. And the ninth habit today is ask for Allah's help in everything. How? The way Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked for help to, and how? By so many du'as. We have so many du'as in the Qur'an and the Sunnah, in the Ahadith. There are so many du'as. You can memorize. That's a nice way of doing du'a. Just memorize some of the du'as. And you can ask in your own language, of course, but you can memorize some of the du'as. And then last, allimu uktubu. That means try to teach whatever I taught you today. And uktubu is you can make notes about it. All right, now quickly, let's do a little revision before we close. Translate na'budu. Yeah, you can unmute yourself now.
We worship.
We worship. And also we will worship, yeah, because just a will is there. Yeah, you're right. And Iyyaka.
You alone.
You alone, good. Nasta'een.
We ask for help.
Very good. And what is the meaning of ibadah?
Worship.
And obedience.
And obedience.
Yeah, good. And what is the habit of a successful person in the light of Iyyaka na'budu?
To do niyyah of ibadah for every good task.
MashaAllah, so good. And to serve others. Yeah, this niyyah is very important, to do niyyah. Every time make an intention, then whether you have done or not, it's accepted. And everything is in niyat, everything is in intentions. If your intention is good, Allah accepts. Also, like I always mention it, that if you make an intention right now that I'm going to memorize the whole Quran, and you start memorizing it, and then la samhallah, if you died and you did not recite, on the day of Qiyamah you will be raised as a hafiz. You'll be raised as a hafiz. So my advice to you, just make an intention and start memorizing as much as you can. Just keep trying. And you are a hafiz already in the eyes of Allah. If not in this dunya, in the eyes of Allah, you are a hafiz. So that's also there. And then the next thing, what is the habit of a successful person in the light of wa iyyaka nasta'in?
To seek Allah's help in everything.
Good, mashallah, very good. So there you go. So today's class is over, alhamdulillah. You have any questions?
Yeah, the Google quiz you have to.
Yes, thank you. Please keep reminding me. I'll just post it on the WhatsApp, inshallah. And then we are good.